Morning, this is Brian. Today is Wednesday, July 29th, 2026. And I am parked here at Lakeside Sports Park here in Lakeside, right near the border of Santee. But I'm about to hit the San Diego River Trail here, this little trail. My plan today is to get up on that hill over there. It's Hill 640. That's a hill I visited once before a few years ago. Back in 2.5 years ago, back in January of 2024. But I'm going to try from a different approach today. And instead of just going directly up and down, I might try to loop around and see if I can make this a little more substantial. It's another early start. Early starts are the key this time of year. Right now, it's 5:45 a.m., 5:45. So I'm gonna walk through the outside of this park and see if I can get on the trails and get up to the hill. Let's see. Yeah, like baseball fields and softball fields and stuff here. But my goal is not to play baseball or softball. The goal is to get up to a hilltop. Should be about 300 feet gain today. Not a super long hike. We'll see how this goes. Alright. This tree tobacco here. This thing's got a nice trunk on it. Wow. Pretty interesting. Let's see if I can make the connections today. There's the Walker Preserve. First time I did this peak was from that other side. Today, I'm doing it from this side. Yeah, a lot of Audubon's cottontails hopping around this morning. Think about these early morning stops. These are always good. All right, see some signage there. Off-road, okay. Off-road vehicles, yeah, we ain't tripping off that. I'm just trying to get into the trails. I'm gonna have to go around. I'm gonna have to see if I can get through the other side. Let me see. I'll keep you posted. Alright, well. Now, last time I was able to access this without any problem. Today I might not be so lucky. Last time I was able to get up there without any problems. I may not be so lucky today, I don't know. I was over on that side. Now, I'm going to try this side. Looks like some work going on down there. Not at this time specifically, but in general. This isn't looking too good. Let me see. Alright. This part here is open. Let's see if this dead ends on me. Hopefully I can circumvent the fence. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right. I wonder what's going to be done here. This looks a lot different than when I came here. Very different. All right. Well, at least this trail goes on the other side of the fence, which is always good. Little party spots over here. Yeah, must be some kind of construction or something. Doesn't look like much is being done over there, but okay. Oh, there's a nice thicket of spiny redberry. Right here. Pretty nice sized shrub. Some white sage too. Popping up over here. So we're kind of skirting around the base of the hill right now. Eventually I'm going to look for a trail that goes uphill. Right now I'm not really gaining any elevation. I'm going to look for a track that goes up. I think the north side? Like I said, I'm trying to get a little distance in. Welder. Let's see. Keep you posted and we'll see where I start going up. So I got to to a junction here. Here's a use trail. I think this is the use trail I took coming down. So when I first did this hill, I actually went up off trail on the other side from the south. I think the south side? Yeah. I think this is the use trail I descended. Made a loop out of it that time too. There's a use trail here. But I think there should be a more gradual ascent trail going up around the other side. There's a lot of broombackers here. I mean, a ton of broombackers. This area gets regularly disturbed. A lot of broombackers growing here. Yeah, it's too bad those hills there are off limits. Those hills there. And here's a road here or something. Let me see. This might be my turnoff to ascend the hill. Yeah, I always wanted to climb these hills, but they're protected off limits, from what I understand. Let's see. Is this the road? Let's see. This might be my ascent route here. Yeah, this white sage. There's quite a bit of it here. This might actually be the use trail I took coming down too. This might be it. Alright, so I'll climb it. See if I can find a more gradual descent. I think this might actually be the one this might be the one I descended. There are a few of these here. Yeah. I think this is the trail I descended. Yeah. Pretty sure this was... It's either this one or the other one I pointed out. This looks a little different. It might have been the other one. Maybe this is the more circuitous one I was meaning to take. Let's see. Because it didn't really side hill. Yeah. Yeah, this is not the same one. I don't remember any side hilling. All right. Yeah, this is definitely not the same one. Let me see. Yeah, this one's definitely different. It's a very different use trail. Okay. I think it goes up this way. Definitely overgrown. Oh boy. Okay. Keep going up this and keep it posted on how things go. Alright, so there's been some very light bushwhacking. It's a very faint use trail. Very faint. But I could definitely tell there's something here. Very faint use trail. Okay. Looks like it ends over here, I think. Alright. So it's just near these poles. There's a little olive tree right there. Just trying to pinpoint where I am when I map my height. Let's see if I can even, let's see if this is even, looks like the trail ends here. So this might not be the use trail anymore. I have to backtrack a little bit because that's not a trail anymore. I did see another possibility over here. Yeah, I think this is it. I think this is it. This is a very faint trail. Very faint. It's almost not even there. Just trying to be careful not to bushwhack too hard. Definitely some bushwhacking here. Wow. I'm dropping sweat like crazy. Huh. There's a trail right there. Completely lost it. Well, here it is. Here's a trail right here. I don't know where that came from, but at least I found it. Here's a trail right here. Oh boy. Yeah. Now it's a very well-defined use trail. Wow. Okay. Oh boy. This part might not be very well mapped. All I know is I came up roughly along that line there. And then I finally found the trail. Like I said, I thought it was a use trail. It might have been one that faded out over time. This is actually a pathway. I'm glad I'm actually on the trail. I don't think I'm that far from the summit either. Oh, it's kind of slippery here, so just be careful. Ooh-wee. Yeah. Had a heck of a good sweat going. Alright. Whoo-wee. Oh, man. Alright. The rest of this should go pretty easily, I think. So I probably should have stayed there longer and came up a different way. Well, I thought I was following the use trail. Maybe it was just space between the shrubs. Summit should just be up here a little bit, not that much further. So the early and latter parts of the ascent should be pretty easy to trace. It's just the middle part of the ascent that's going to be a little bit of a challenge to trace. Let's see. Find the easiest way up to the top. Should be a pathway on this side. Yeah, first time I did this, the majority of the ascent was completely cross country. Went up a grassy slope from on the other side of this ridge here. Then I topped out at that ridge and it kind of came around the water tower. And that's how I got up here the first time, then went up this way. Yeah, we're pretty decent Coast Choyas growing here too. Alright. So we're at the last push to the peak. Alright. See you just about there. Alright. Yeah, I took the little use trail on the left. More gradual than trying to amble up directly. Right now I'm just about to summit Hill 640 for the second time. All right, this is it. Hill 640 between Lakeside and Santee. First time I either came up that way or from this one more directly. This time I chose the little bit easier way to get up here. I'm going to look for a different descent route to try to lengthen this a little bit. It's very short walk to get up here. It's only about 285 to 315 feet of elevation gain. Not much at all. Pretty easy. Pretty easy. Breathing a little bit heavily because there are some steep spots. And I kind of had to push through some brush, at least the route I took. But at least I'm here. It's my second time up here on Hill 640 via a different ascent route. I'm gonna take a summit selfie, get a sip of water, because I am sweating profusely because it is very, very muggy. Temperature's only maybe about 65, 66 degrees right now, but the dew point's in the mid 60s, and the humidity's probably up in the 80 to 90% right now. We got marine layer this morning. We're starting off with a marine layer, so it'll keep the temperatures down a little bit, but also with the ocean temperatures, I think, are in the 70s right now, and that's what's creating these really muggy mornings. And it seems to be the rule for the last several years. Ocean temperatures are getting warmer, and it's meaning muggier summers. I'm going to get that summit selfie. I'll point out some views. There aren't going to be a lot of panoramic views because of the marine layer. But let me get that summit selfie and we'll talk about what I can find. Alright, so I'll point out some views right now. Alright. Okay, we're going to start by looking west. And I can see off in the hazy marine layer, that ridge in the far background is North Fortuna Mountain, Mission Trails Regional Park. To the left of it is Fortuna Saddle. And even further to the left, that small bump to the left is South Fortuna. Southwest, we're looking at, from right to left, we're looking at Powell's Peak, Peak 1399, and the high point of Mission Trails, Coles Mountain. Looks like the top of it's just barely scraping the clouds. A little more southwest, we're looking over towards where that tower is over by Grossmont College, that area. A little more to the south here, south-southwest I should say, is Mount Helix off in the haze. And looking down below is California 67. And a little more south, that's Rattlesnake Mountain, or the ridge that leads to Rattlesnake Mountain in Sky Ranch. Looking southeast towards Lakeside. It's all part of Lakeside right there. Looking east, that's the continuation of California 67. Over there. Heading towards Ramona. And in the hills near El Capitan. And also over by the Stelzer County Park is off that way too. Now, looking north, this is kind of near where Santee and Lakeside meld. Some of these hills I wish I could have climbed. And then this is all Santee here. Now we're looking northwest towards some of those hills, behind which Sycamore Canyon landfill site is located, and more of which as we swing back to the west to complete 360. Okay, a few more sips of water. I'm going to take a few photos up here. I haven't been taking many pictures because it was kind of dark earlier. Haven't even taken my thumbnail picture yet, but I'm gonna definitely want to explore a little bit more of this and look for a different way down so I can vary up the scenery and explore more of this cool little spot. Alright, so I don't really spend much time botanizing up here. This is coastal sage scrub and the habitat of the California gnatcatcher, and I hear a couple of gnatcatchers mewing off in the shrubs, kind of like my type sound. You can hear one right now, actually. Oh, there goes one right now. Just saw one. It's really tiny, so I don't know if the camera picked it up. Really tiny California gnatcatcher. Polyoptila californica californica. You got some shock dudleyias up here, all in seed right now, one of the seed capsules. And then we got, of course, California sagebrush. Right here, Artemisia californica. And we got foothill California buckwheat, Eriogonum fasciculatum variety foliolosum. This is a very dry spot here, so you can tell even the buckwheats, which are typically mostly evergreen, are kind of partially dormant. There's a lot of coast cholla, especially on that side there. That side, on the final summit push coming up here. But I'm going to take this route here. I think I meant to come up this way. I'm just going to want to see what's on this side of this hill. I imagine there probably won't be much cactus on this side because this is more of a northwest facing slope, and the cactus plants tend to prefer the south facing slopes. All right, let's see what this area has to offer. So I'm going to take this old, looks like this was an old service road back in the day, down. You can see some more trail networks down there. We'll see what kind of cool stuff I can find along this. This looks pretty interesting. I wanted to see other parts of this hill. This one is an interesting ascent route, but hey, at least I'm catching it on the descent. See, in the coastal sage scrub, I try not to go off trail. Like I said, I was following what I thought was a use trail, and eventually it petered out, so I kind of had to push through it to get to the trail. Try to stay on trail in coastal sage scrub. Oh, we're coming up on a gang of coast cholla. Okay, so this is definitely going to be an interesting part here. So I'll see when I'm there. Look at this spectacular coast cholla garden here. Natural garden of coast cholla. Just an absolutely humongous population right here. There are spots on this hill that have big patches of this plant. I bet you these are all probably genetic clones of each other too, because coast chollas don't typically produce viable seed. These plants typically reproduce by pieces falling off. There's a little use trail here. Right into this beautiful patch. Look at this. How spectacular is this? Wow. This is spectacular. These are some old ones too. These are some pretty tall ones. These are spectacularly beautiful. Wow, look at this. This is absolutely breathtaking. Look at this. Those bees are waiting for the flowers to open. Yeah, we've got more flowers getting ready to open on these choyas. Haven't opened up yet. Look at this. Spectacular patch. This would be good San Diego cactus wren habitat right here. I'm not going to go too much further. Like I said, I'm not trying to blaze extra trails. But look at that. Right by that little outcropping area there. Look at that. These are the ones that have been around for a while. They have some height to them. Probably about 6-7 feet tall. This is absolutely amazing. I love it. And I am blessed to be growing this plant at home too. I have this growing at home. A couple of which are pretty stunted, but one of which has been growing pretty steadily during the course of the year. But yeah, see, these are what would have become the fruit if they were able to produce viable seeds. But what's going to end up happening with these is that they're just going to continue to cluster at the end of the stems and produce, maybe become either their own stems, or little stubby stems, or they're just going to continue to flower year after year. This might have been a fruit that aborted. Sometimes they elongate, but a lot of times they're just going to end up becoming these little stubs at the end that are going to photosynthesize and act like stems as opposed to fruit, because the seeds are not going to be viable if they even develop at all in the plant. Coast cholla. Look at this. This is magnificent. I'm glad I took this path down here, because this is insane. I love being around. I love this. Being around this. Being around this is just so cool. Coast cholla, Cylindropuntia prolifera. Every now and then you catch these humongous patches of them. You see, now we're not so much on a north-facing slope. This slope is kind of facing west-northwest, and these cactus plants are growing where the slope is starting to tilt more towards the southwest. That's why we're not seeing much on this side of the hill. These cactus plants prefer the south-facing slopes. Where they can tolerate the dryness even more than these other plants. Wow, that is spectacular. So these little tucked in out of the way places make for some great exploration and great botany, apparently. That was an amazing stand of Coast cholla right there. I think this is going to head down towards the western half of Mass Boulevard. That's Mass Boulevard going straight ahead down below. There's also an eastern half, and both don't connect. They're actually bisected by this hill. See what you find when you explore a little bit. I barely drove into my neighboring city of Lakeside to get here. It's just a very short drive to get here. About 10 minutes from my house, including stoplights. I didn't even get on any freeways. I didn't even take 67. So I live by where Magnolia and the California 52 meet, and I ended up just driving or Magnolia turns into Woodside. I just took Woodside to Riverford, Riverford to Mast, Mast to, was it Marathon or something? And I parked at the Lakeside baseball fields. That's where I'm parked. It looks like I'm going to make some kind of loop today. Should have taken pictures of that Cholla stand. Alright, well, I'm going to take a few pictures now. Okay, looks like our trail's going to curve off. Start curving down the north face of the hill. I'm just taking a very leisurely walk down this. Plus, some of it's a little steep and slippery, so it's always good to just be careful. Yeah, very rutted here, so just take your time. Yeah, this was pretty cool. Pretty cool little hill. Should be able to get a good thumbnail from the parking lot at the sports park where I was staged the car. Wow, yeah, this is a pretty cool area. Like I said, there's some areas where there's some very heavy areas of trash and human debris, like mattresses and cans. But it's not all like that. Just certain spots, mostly lower down, probably where some unhoused encampments probably occur occasionally. This is a cool little spot, though, I'm not gonna lie. There's even I thought there was a bridge there. It's like a bike ramp or something. Here's the backside of the hill. This is definitely worthy of a few photographs too, to be honest. Let's get some photos over here too. Yeah, this might be another used trail, or maybe an old faded one that came down from up there. There's an old byway down there, a little pathway. Yeah, we're not that far from the power lines already. There's another trail right here. This might have been the one I should have taken going up. Like I said, I don't really like to blaze my own trails, but I thought I was on an old used trail. There's another one. This might have actually been the use trail. That one or this one might have been the use trail that I should have taken. Should have stayed on this a little bit longer. I'm just about to complete the loop already. Once again on the other side of those power poles. Looks like this leads down to that paved walkway down there. Probably just leads over towards the neighborhoods, which I'm not going to take. I'm going to stay here. I hear a lot of gnatcatcher calling off in the shrubs. Yeah, it's a nice hill. Very nice hill. Now we're on the north side of it now. Northwest side of the hill. I think I see another trail up here. Here's another east trail right here. Oh, there's a walnut tree. Let me go explore this for a minute. There's a little walnut tree, a couple walnuts over here. I think these are walnuts. Or are these ailanthus? I think these are actually ailanthus. I thought these were going to be walnuts. I was thinking maybe some Southern California walnuts, but no. Nah, this is called Tree of Heaven, ailanthus altissima. I thought I saw like green globe-shaped walnuts in them, but it was just some of the leaves creating optical illusions. So yeah, this is from China and Asia. So ailanthus altissima, not native here to Southern California, has naturalized through much of the United States, much of North America. I've seen it naturalized back east in New Jersey where I lived for several years. Seen it out here. I'm just curious, thinking maybe we had some Southern California walnuts. They do occasionally pop up here in San Diego County. A little more common in North Orange County and South Central Los Angeles County and into the San Gabriel Mountain foothills and in some other spots here and there, but I do occasionally come across it here in San Diego County as well, especially around Dehesa, parts of El Cajon, Rancho San Diego, Jamul. That area you get some occasional pop-ups of Juglans californica. Cool little preserve. Park or whatever this is. I don't even think this is actually a named park. Doesn't say no hiking, it just says no off-road vehicles. So I just take that as a sign is that you can come here and hike. You just can't be rolling ATVs and e-bikes and motorcycles and Jeeps. Maybe regular bikes are permitted. So, sometimes it's better explore on your own power instead of relying on motorized transport. That's how I better enjoy places. this on foot. Other people might enjoy it more on a bike. And I say more power to you. So I think this is still part of Mast here, I think. Looks like they're, I don't know if that's part of Mast or, well, I know there's a new housing community getting ready to sprawl up right now. Yeah, right near where I started climbing up. Right near, I think. Yeah, I'm not that far from where I started climbing up. Yeah, I remember that little olive tree right there. That's probably right where I started climbing up. Means it's like it's almost over already, which is kind of sad. Definitely a very pleasant little trip out here. Just trying to make it out as much as I can. Yeah, this is about where I started climbing up right here. About here somewhere. Yeah, this is about where I started climbing up. Right at the, kind of lined up against the end of the housing tract is where I'll have to map it out. Yeah, followed what looked like a good use trail for a while, then it petered out pretty quickly. Something made for a really cool adventure. Like I said, I'm personally not adverse to cross-country hiking. I just try not to do it too much in places like coastal sage scrub or the plants. I want to barrel through the plants, but I thought I was on a use trail and then ended up kind of petering out, and then I finally found a much better defined trail, and then I got on that and stuck to that. Mistake I just need to learn for next time. Oh, there's another Audubon's cottontail. Haven't seen a gang of them this morning. Hello, little buddy. little white powder puff tails they have. Look like cotton balls. That's why I call them cottontails. Yep. Yeah, just below the summit, there's a little cross up there. I think it said "In God We Trust" or something. That was a little cross below the summit. I don't know if I got a picture of it. Alright, so yeah, I remember this. Almost like a chair, like a bench rock, but way too low to sit unless you're a really tiny kid. I'll get a few more pictures of this area. Last picture with this really gnarly little blue elder. You might be thinking, what's wrong with it? It's dormant. It's summertime. They shed their leaves during the dry season here in the low elevations. Down here, up in the mountains where it gets colder, they shed their leaves in autumn and are leafless in winter. They leaf out usually mid-spring. But down here, they leaf out in mid-winter when there's rain. So yeah, blue elder, Sambucus ceruleus, Sambucus mexicana, Sambucus nigra subspecies ceruleus. Whatever you want to, whatever scientific name you want to use, that plant is drought deciduous in the lower elevations and winter deciduous in the mountains. Because I've seen that plant above 8, 9, even I think above 9,000 feet. There's some old growth white sage. Yeah, pretty fun little botanical tour if you come to this area. Just come along, bring a plant field guide. Come here in the spring, it's gonna be probably decent coastal sage scrub wildflowers too. Yeah, here's this old spiny redberry I passed earlier this morning. Pretty extensive thicket right here too. Very impressive. This is a plant I would definitely love to grow. These things are such cool shrubs. And they get these red, fleshy droops in the late spring and early summer. Sometimes these things will be covered. They'll have a little bit of a reddish haze if they have a really good mast year. And look at this little, I think this is a road cut into here, but I like how it kind of outcrops here. I'm wondering if this has anything to do with marine sedimentary, but I'm not sure. It kind of looks like it a little bit. But I do really dig these road cuts where they got these little outcrops. It's really cool to look at it. Yeah, so what's going on here? I wonder what's being constructed. Maybe this is going to be a retarding basin, maybe? That might be what this is. Because it doesn't look there's been anything done recently to it. Because of the growth of these tree tobaccos. I mean, they're pretty fast growing plants. But it looks like it's been a little while since there's been anything done here. But I don't remember seeing this in early 2024. I don't remember seeing that fence there. All right, I'm gonna keep on trucking, maybe get a few more photos, and I'll show you some pretty decent sized lemonade berries along the Walker Preserve Trail. I might actually walk that for a while too. Okay. Just about back at the Walker Preserve. Better duck under this wiry fence thing here. Look at this blue elder. This is a relatively young one here. This one still has some foliage on it. Depending on how much moisture is in the soil, they can stay leafy a little bit later. This one's still partially green. Alright. I haven't seen much of this today. It's black sage. Got a little black sage growing here. But predominantly it's white sage on the hills. At least from which I came. There's another little blue elder here. Here's another younger one. Still got some foliage on it. These are such cool. Large shrub, small tree. Sometimes these things can live quite a while, and they can get some massive trunks on them. They'll be like 15, 20 feet tall, but then they'll have the trunk the size of a tree you'd expect to be like 100 feet tall. There's more black sage down here. Here's one little bitty lemonade berry right here. Rus integrifolia, little guy. There's definitely going to be more if you go over towards where the baseball fields are. There's actually some pretty large ones, which I'll be passing on the way back to the car. Alright, so I guess I'll go take a little walk along here. It's kind of early for me to want to head back home already. But yeah. Hello. Hello, little buddy. There's even some prickly pear. There is prickly pear. There are prickly pear cactus plants. It does grow up there. I might walk all the way. I might walk to Magnolia. Ooh, this golden bush. Which variant is this? Looks like variety Menzies. Now we got arrowweed. Oh yes, indeed. Bouquet cericea. Yeah, I remember this spot here. The pepper tree spot. I remember this first time I was here. I'll take the detour. Like last time when I was here. I did the hill and then I came down. This is when I was closing out the loop. Right now, this is going to be an out and back. Little pepper tree picnic spot. Maybe a little picnic table, a bench. Another bench up here. Good spot to bring your lunch. This is where I did an episode of Trees of San Diego County on the Peruvian pepper tree. This is where it was filmed, right up here. If interested, I'll put a link in the description for that video. If you want to learn more about the Skinnis mole, or the Peruvian pepper tree. Nice, very graceful trees. Not native, but so omniprevalent here in lowland Southern California that you might be tempted to think that they are. They are definitely now part of our landscape. Another little picnic spot here. A little more Coast Cholla action right here. Some more graceful, drought-hardy Peruvian pepper trees. As we take this little switch back down to join the main trail for a little diversion action. So I think I'm going to follow this to Magnolia. I might follow this all the way to Magnolia Avenue. Make an out and back. So I did a loop. Now I want to do an out and back. So at least I'll get a little bit of distance in. This isn't a long, drawn out hike, but may as well enjoy it a little bit. Alright, well, back on the main trail. And I'll see you at the next botanical or wildlife or whatever point of interest that pops up. Yeah, always get some pretty decent sized laurel sumacs in the area too. Be on the lookout for that. Pretty interesting. Not that far from my first ascent. Another one there. Hello. That's a nice rounded one. Looks like there's a pretty pretty old Fremont cottonwood over here too. This one's like it's got some pretty big trunks on it. Like pieces of it broke off at some point. Yeah, this is where I originally went to try to climb the hill. Went up this way. I thought there was going to be a trail to get up there. Eventually, it just leads up to Sandy Creek Drive. But eventually, I came to the end of this area and I was thinking, I'm just going to book it cross country. So I went up the other side of that mound over there. But yeah, back to the Fremont cottonwood. This one's got some girth to it. Populus fremontii, subspecies fremontii. You can see it's got some girth to it. Probably has a huge trunk down there. I can't see it from here. Looks like it'd be a pretty decent sized one. Now we're coming up on that another population of desert arrowweed here. Pretty cool. Look at all this desert arrowweed here. Just a whole thicket. Yeah, I remember this one the first time. Never fails to amaze me. Well, this is all clothing. I wonder. This is about one root clone. I don't know. Could be. This plant is everywhere over here. Let's just take a quick detour around here. Morning doves. I got four-winged saltbush variant. This looks like linear leaf variant. Atroplex canescens variety linearis. Leaves are very narrow. Yeah, I think this is the linear leaf version. A little tiny coast live oak. Yep, good old Quercus agrifolia variety agrifolia. And some lemonade berry, Rubus agrifolia. And some toyon, Heteromeles arbudifolia. Yes, indeed. And another luscious laurel sumac, courtesy of the deeper soil profile found here. Very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, I'm going to follow this all the way, I think, to Magnolia, so I can at least do a nice out and back. Here's something from Persia in the Middle East. Silk tree, Alpizia julibrissin. Still has some little pink powder puff flowers on it. Characteristic of the pea family tribe Faboidea, the subfamily of the pea family. Family Fabaceae, subfamily Mimosoideae. Sometimes called a mimosa tree. Yeah. Very picturesque laurel sumacs over here. Yep. And there we go. Alkali heliotrope. Heliotropium curasavicum variety oculatum. Okie dokie. And some nearly tree-sized arrowweeds. Sometimes these things get pretty tall. Wow. Cool. Get a few pictures. And I'm going to keep on trekking. California scrub jay. Phelocoma californica obscura. I got massive. These little sumacs are getting here. The trunks on this one are huge. This one's got some massive trunks on it. Yeah, there's a little river lookout over here. Yep. Pretty interesting little morning I've had. Yeah, there's a little river lookout. Okay, it's open over here. We're not that far from the river. I'm surprised it wasn't gated there. If I can access it, I want to check this out. See how far I can go on this. There's somebody fishing over there and I don't want to bother them. Pretty cool. Yeah, somebody fishing over there and I don't want to bother them. But we got some Heinz willow. Salix exigua variety Heinziana growing here. Yeah, there's somebody fishing over there. I don't want to disturb them. So maybe what I could do is go over here. Wow, there's a little trail here. The guy can have his peace and quiet. Wow. Ah, this is different. Look at this Fremont cottonwood. Here we go. There's the San Diego River. And some California bulrush. It's going to Plectus californicus. Wow. Cool trail. Pretty cool. There's actually a whole trail in here. There's no keep out, so as far as I'm concerned, it's all good. It's all good. Get some pictures over here. Cool spot. It's even an Engelmann oak. Has a little Engelmann oak sapling right here. How cool is that? Okay, yeah, just leads back to the preserve trail over there. I don't think it's an official trail, but it wasn't a keep out sign. There was another guy at the other end fishing. Cool. Wow. This just made my morning hike just a little juicier. I'll take it. I'll take it. Believe me, I'll take it. Yeah, this black sage still got a lot of green on it. The ones higher up on the hills are all dried out now. Must be some more subsurface moisture here. That's why these sages are still green. I'm gonna go put this water bottle back because the popping sound must be annoying. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this little trek over here by the San Diego River. There's a little pool of it here. But what really caught my attention was this baby California sycamore sapling. Look at this little guy. What an absolute beauty. Gorgeous. Baby sycamore. Platanus racemosa. Pretty cool little place to explore. I was hoping to see a bullfrog or something, but I didn't see anything. Yeah, this plant is called California bulrush. Very aggressive waterside plant. Native. And makes actually a good habitat for bullfrogs. Bullfrogs love to be around rushes and cattails. Gives them a good hiding spot to ambush their prey. But yeah, I just love this Fremont cottonwood right here. This thing's a beauty. And there's the San Diego River right there. Yeah. Definitely a cool little exploration spot here. Glad I made it over here. Just had to explore it a little bit. There is quite a bit of trash around here, though. Just be aware. Probably homeless encampments. Here's more of that California bulrush. That's what the seed capsules look like. I think it's in the rush family, the Juncaceae, but I'll double check. Double check myself. That's where the inflorescences come on Scoinoplectus californicus. I think we have a couple other species of Scoinoplectus, but I'm almost certain that this one's californicus. And marsh fleabane. Indeed, right here, another species of Plucea. Remember I pointed out desert arrowweed, Plucea sericea, but this is another species of Plucea. This is Plucea odorata, variety odorata. and they get pinkish flower heads in the summer and fall. Sometimes earlier in the year, depends. But yep, it's another species of Plocaea that we have here in Southern California. Yeah, we should got a lot of this coast golden bush here, and this is the Isocoma menziesii variety menziesii. This is the menziesii variant because it's got relatively smooth edge leaves, so it's not. There's another variant, a couple other variants. Let me see. Yeah, looks like we've got telegraph aster here, Heteroteca grandiflora. We got a Mexican fan palm right here. Not surprising to see these near the river. And got a lot of western ragweed right over here too. And white sweet clover. And it smells very sweet. It's actually one of the best fragrances in these wet environments. However, it's not native. It's not native here to Southern California. Here's more of that alkali heliotrope. Still fishing the hole. Leave him alone, but if he's not, he's still here. I'm gonna check out the water. Yeah. Still fishing. It's all good. I haven't explored all that. Now it's time to get back to the trail. All right. This little spot leads to a bench. I guess people can go fishing in there. Some people like to fish in the river. All right. Let me get back on the trail. And head left, head towards Magnolia. Here's that massive laurel sumac. I remember this the first time I was here. It's like somebody had been cutting it. Just look at how massive this is. Look at the trunks on this thing. Yeah, somebody had cut it. I can't believe somebody was going to try to cut this trunk too. Somebody kind of girdled it a little bit. Look at this. Melosma lorina. I think it was growing a lot over the trail, but look at the color of the heartwood of this thing. Beautiful. I love laurel sumac. This is one of the coolest plants. How beautiful is that? Alright, pictures and I'm going to move on. Huge coyote brush. Look at the trunk on that coyote brush. It's massive. Got a big laurel sumac coming up too. Mama, those things are so big over here. Man, these little sumacs along this trail gets so huge. Then we got Ensalia farinosa, brittle bush. Still got some blossoms on them. Yep. Southern California native. But here it's naturalized on the coastal side. On the desert side of is where it's more it's natural or native. Yeah, very impressive laurel sumacs around here. I guess I'm gonna at least go to Magnolia Avenue and turn back that way. Yeah, these things get pretty impressive here. Alright. Yeah, this comes in from Sandy Creek. Alright, see you on the next clip. African sumac. Rent it. That's a rent it right there. Kamaya fasciata. That's a rent it right there. Cool. Yes, indeed. Cool. That was Kamaya fasciata, the rent it. Perfect. The one that makes that ping-pongy, chirpy sound in the coastal sage-scrub and chaparral. What we got over here now? It's so funny. Pitter patters in the shrubs. I love that. It's so funny. That's funny. I'm missing all the stuff on this side. Look at that Gooding's black willow. Very beautiful. Very cool. Handsome Gooding's black willow. Ooh, coast live oak with acorns. Hello. Ooh, this one's gonna produce. Oh, hello. Beautiful. Look at this laurel sumac. It's still in full bloom. And the bees are going absolutely ape wild. Look at that. Wow. Honeybees are going absolutely bonkers right now. That is insane. I'm almost at Magnolia already. I like how they're recreating natural habitat with toyons and coast live oaks, which go together like two peas in a pod. Here's another Isocoma menziesii. This is variety Verninoides. This is another variant. Pretty cool though. When I walk back on the other side, I'll walk on this side more and point out plants on this side. Alright, see you next clip. Next clip. Guess I'll go this way for a little while. There's Magnolia right over there. I guess I'll follow this for a little while. Let's see if there's anything interesting botanically around here. Yeah, it's Magnolia Avenue, street on which I live. A couple blocks down that way. I'm very close to this. My car's clear on the other side. So let's see if I find anything interesting over here. Let's see what kind of juicy stuff I might find over here. Okay. Let's see. Whoa. Hey. Some curiosity over here. So this is Magnolia Avenue right here. Just curious where this is going to go. Triple down here. There's a red willow. Right here. Mulberry tree in here. What kind is this? This is a white mulberry. Yeah, it's a white mulberry, Morris alba. Right here is a white mulberry tree. Every now and then, sometimes you might find a red mulberry, or a hybrid between white and red. But yeah, there's a white mulberry tree that naturalized down here. And then this giant bamboo-looking plant is called giant reed, Arunodonax. Not native. It's from the Mediterranean. Looks like sugar cane or bamboo. You can get up to at least 20 feet tall. This is a pretty big one too. And then there's a fig. There's a fig thicket in there too. Right there, that's fig. So Ficus carica, that's actually related to Morris alba, because they're in the mulberry family, the Moraceae. Figs and mulberries are related. Okay, well, figured I'd find something interesting. Look at his huge Ricinus communis. This is called castor bean. Right here, castor bean. Another non-native. Let's see where this goes. Oh boy, yeah. This is gonna make an interesting hike. Okay. What do we got here? Podocarp. There's a podocarp here. This is a conifer. I think this is Aphrocarpus gracilior. Yeah, this is actually a coniferous tree right here. Hey, what we got in here? Oh, we got something interesting in here. Here a bullfrog calling too. Oh, cool. We got a southern catalpa. Catalpa bignonioides. It's a non-native that occasionally gets established here too. Yeah, this is native to the south central and southeastern United States. This is Catalpa bignonioides. Wow. This is cool. Yeah, southern Catalpa. Yeah, there's another one here too. They got massive leaves on them. Yeah, these are southern Catalpas. Wow, this is a cool spot. And then look at the trunks on this willow. I'm trying to figure out what kind of willow this is. This thing's massive. This thing is absolutely enormous. Look at the trunk on this willow. It's like a Gooding's black willow. Salix Goodingy. This thing's got a massive trunk on it. Holy snap. This is crazy. Oh, wow. This is gnarly. Yeah, and we got this Podocarpusii right here too. Yeah, this looks like Afrocarpus gracilior. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is a Gooding's black willow, isn't it? Or a red willow? I can't see the leaves up close. This is a massive willow. The bark looks more like a red willow. No, that's a good. No, this is a Gooding's black willow. Yeah, it's a Gooding's black willow. That thing is massive. That's a humongous willow. Whoa, this is a pretty sick spot. Wow. There's some pretty decent sized trees in here. There's a multi-trunk one here. Oh, this place is cool. And more Fremont cottonwoods here. Yeah, we're right near the water. Rickshaw or something. Here's the San Diego River from the other side. Oh, that white sweet clover smells so good over here. Yeah, I know I heard a bullfrog going off. Yeah, the Walker Preserve is just on the other side of this. This is, wow, fantastic. Cool spot. I wonder if this is the San Diego River Trail here. I wonder. Wow. I hear a bullfrog right now. Makes kind of like an almost like electrical sounding hum. Vroom, 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 vroom. That's what a bullfrog sounds like. Let me get a couple pictures over here. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna explore this part. I'm gonna stay close to the river. Wow, this is quite enchanted over here. You got a royal willow too. Yeah. Beautiful Fremont cottonwoods. Such cool trees. Always wanted to grow Fremont cottonwood, but every time I've taken cuttings, it's always failed on me. Alright, so I'll probably stick a little bit closer to the water. It's a neat little trail here. pretty neat. It's a pretty neat area, I'll tell you. Yep, this is my hometown. This is part of my hometown right here. Wow. Wow. This is becoming more overgrown. Look at this cowdy brush. Yeah, that one back in the Walker Preserve had a massive trunk on it. Ay, ay, ay. I'm gonna turn back. There's some dog down there. I don't know. Yeah. I think I'm gonna turn around here. Let's see. There's actually somebody hiking. I thought it was a feral dog. Interesting. That was interesting. Back over here by the water. This will coast light oak. For a few minutes maybe. Morning dove. Hello, buddy. Morning dove. Hey, buddy. Just trying to see where this goes. I'm curious. Coast live oak right here. Parts of the river. Wow. That's pretty neat. Yeah, I went going back the way I was originally going to go. Just want to see where this leads. I wonder if I could take this to Mast Boulevard. If I could take it to Mast, I could probably take it back to my car that way. see. Wow. It's very overgrown over here. I'm turning back. There's somebody over there. Yep. I think I'm good. I think I'm good on that. Yeah. I think there's maybe a homeless encampment over there. So I think I'm good. I was going to try to see if I could take this all the way to mast, but that might not be a good idea. Man, that would have been cool though. Would have been kind of neat to try. Yeah, it's quite an interesting adventure today. Look at this arroyo willow. It's a pretty nice size arroyo willow. This is a pretty nice trail. This morning dip. It was the same one that was on the trail. All right. Very interesting. Interesting area over here. Very interesting area. I wanted an adventure. Boy, did I get it. Whoa. There was something big in there. There was something huge that flopped in the water. Wonder what that was. Whatever it was huge. Sounded like it had some volume to it. Probably bigger than a bullfrog, I think. I don't know what that was, but it would have been cool to see. Yeah, I was going to try to see if I can connect all the way to Mast Boulevard, but I might be able to, but I don't want to run the risk of having a conflict with somebody along here. A and B, I really don't want to disturb anybody who may be unhoused. I don't want to disturb anybody either. But yeah. Wow. Man, this is a cool find. Very beautifully wooded area. Yeah. It is Fremont cottonwood. Very nice. Yeah, that Gooding's black willow that was back there, I think it's massive. Oh, we got a Chinese flame tree here too. Colereteria bipinnata. They do sometimes get established here. Yeah. Here's that multi-trunked Goodings willow. That one over by where I saw the catalpa trees, absolutely massive trunks on it. Right next to this Aphrocarpus gracilior. Yeah, right behind there's a massive willow. And then here we got a Cape leadwort, Plumbago auriculata. It's a very, ooh, oh, sorry, buddy. Hey, hey, hey. Got startled by a mantid. It was on my hand. At first I didn't know what it was. It startled the heck out of me. Interesting. Well, I'm going to keep on trucking, and I'll keep you up informed on the next clip. Okay, so this will be my return route. I'm going to go check it out over here for a minute. There's a pathway over here too. Interesting. On the other side of Magnolia. Look at this. More Heinz willow. What does that say? Is that what I think it says? Yeah, I better not go over here. There's a sign over there. It says no trespassing. Really old, rusty sign, so I'm going to stay away from over there. It's Chinese elm. Got Chinese elm over here. Pretty neat. Yeah, here's the trunk. This is the base of it. Almost parvifolia. Heading back. But that area is off limits, so I'm going to stay away from that and move on back. Kind of sad though, looked kind of interesting. I think this is back to the Walker Preserve Trail. Wow, this turned out very interesting. Not gonna lie. Yeah, the California sycamore. You see a lot of those around here. All right. This has been quite an interesting day. I like this little waterway here. That's so cool. Alright, away I go. I guess that side's off limits. Boy, really found much more of an adventure than I was expecting. I was expecting to climb a hill, climb back down, loop around it, and be done. Take this way for a minute. Well, I wanted some adventure. I've been needing it. So lots of trails here. It's a little used trails. Sometimes you do need to get off the beaten path a little bit. Sometimes you have to explore a little bit. this is pretty cool. Yeah, just a couple blocks from where I live. Very short distance. Maybe about not even a full mile from where I live. Could just walk home, but my car is parked on the other side. All right. I'm gonna go up this way for a little bit too. Just see what's going on over there. All right, so I'm on this stretch now. It's just a paved pathway. Ooh, laurel sumac seedling. Look at that. That's a laurel sumac seedling. As is that right there. A couple laurel sumac seedlings. A few of them. Look at some young little cottonwood shoots. I don't know if these are seedlings or root shoots. Interesting. Got a little piece of arroyo willow. On this side, we got some California red buds. Cercis occidentalis. And of course, no surprise there, white sage. It's some type of manzanita. This is some type of, I wonder if this is Arctostaphylos uva ursi. I don't know. This is a little ground cover manzanita. And here's a pigeon point, or this is ground cover Baccharis pilolarus, subspecies pilolarus. Alright, I gotta take a picture of this, figure out what kind of ground cover manzanita this is. Alright, coming out on Cottonwood Drive, or Cottonwood Avenue in River Bluff. Interesting. Huh. Just curious about this over here. Let's see. Alright, so I wonder where this is going to go. Saw a group of people walking through here too. Very interested. Let's see where this goes. Wow, look at this jungle of arroyo willow. This is arroyo willow city up in here. Crazy. Wow, look at the river red gum over here. What's this? Another trail here. Hi. I just keep finding trails every time I turn around. Yeah, this is very interesting over here. There's a thicket of apple tree, Tamarixophila. It's the one species of tamarisk I'm usually very good at identifying. This is the evergreen one. This one doesn't shed its little tiny scale like leaves in autumn. This is Tamarix aphylla. Yeah, it's called apple tree. This one's actually evergreen. Now, coming over here, this is a different species. And I'm not good at telling these ones. These ones are different. This is a different species of tamarisk here. These ones are deciduous. They shed their little tiny scale-like leaves in autumn. These ones will turn bright yellow in late autumn, and their little scale-like leaves will drop off, and they'll be leafless in winter. Yeah, this is a different species of tamarisk. It could be Tamarix ramosissima, Tamarix chinensis. This is a different species here. I'm gonna go over to that old cottonwood tree over there. It's definitely a different area. Oh, hello, California croton. Croton californicus. Some California croton growing over here. Sweet, haven't seen that in a while. Yeah, California croton. How cool is that? It's another plant I would not mind growing. And here's an annual burr sage, or burr ragweed. It's Ambrosia acanthocarpa. Another species of ambrosia we got grown here in Southern California. It's an annual. A lot of ours are actually perennials, but that one's an annual. Called annual burr ragweed or annual burr sage. So it's not related to sage. Wow. Never been out here before. Yeah, this is not that far from where I live. But trying to explore and just trying to enjoy the morning. Yeah, look at these Fremont cottonwoods. Maybe not very large, but definitely been around for a while. Look at that. That's a beauty. Get some pictures of this tree. They're almost by the river again. There's the river. And we got a weeping bottlebrush tree here. Melaleuca viminalis, full of blossoms. They're so good. I always love bottle brushes. Love bottle brush trees. I think I'm coming up on my turnaround point. Right by those condos. That's a biological open space. I wonder if that's a vernal pool in there or something. But yeah, I think I'm gonna get ready to turn around here. Right by this handsome little cottonwood tree. Right by this little swing. I guess people swing to land in the river. Ooh, just saw a fish swimming away. Cool. this little Fremont cottonwood right here. Cool stuff. Pretty interesting. I think this is going to be my turnaround point here. I could keep going for a while, but I want to make this a 4-hour video. So this will be my turnaround, right by that biological open space, whatever that is. The condos, the cottonwood with the swing, and the little Mexican fan palm. This will be my final turnaround, I believe. I'll start heading back. So I'm going to start heading back, and maybe some short updates on the way back. Up here are these apple trees again. Tamarix aphylla. These are really cool. Those beetles are crazy. Harmless. Yep. I like these old apple tree thickets. These are kind of neat looking, not gonna lie. They're not native, but they are cool looking. Alright, so I'm about to rejoin the pavement, and I should be on my way back. Okay, and here's that River Red Gum Grove. Looks like a cool place to kick it. Nice kick it spot right there. Okay. Just heading back the way I came. Alright. Head back towards Magnolia. Again, I'm going to go under it and back. Oh, another young laurel sumac. That's cool. Alright. Keep on going. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and duck under the bridge. Like the way I came. I'll be back at the Walker Preserve momentarily. Yeah, I came out pretty far. Put in a little distance today. Yeah. Heading back into the Walker Preserve momentarily. Yeah, Hill 640 is way off there. Crossing under Magnolia. About to re-enter Walker Preserve. Turn right and follow it all the way back to the Lakeside baseball fields. Alright, so if anything pops up along the way back, Still working my way. There's the hill I climbed, hill 640. The peak is actually back there, just coming into view to the right of the tree line right there. That's where the summit is over there. That right there is a false summit. There's the actual peak over there. Yeah, that's where I was this morning. Very early, hours ago. And still working my way back. Oh, look at this handsome western fence lizard. Wow. Oh, you're a female. Not much blue under the throat. Not a big patch of blue. It's a female, very beautiful. Cool. Well, away I go. Still working my way back. There's the false summit up there. And more of this Walker Preserve as I keep trudging my way back towards the ball fields. This is a flat walk. This isn't difficult or anything. Oh. All right. Still going on my way back. It's a little juvenile western fence lizard. Wow. Yep. There's the false peak, uphill 640. Yeah, I went up roughly that slope there, or just a little bit off. Near that area. That's kind of near where I went up, I think, if I remember correctly. First time. Yep. Keep an eye out for lizards. Yep. There it is. Yeah. I told you there's a lot of coast cholla on that hill. That dark stuff, it's all coast cholla. All coast cholla up there. All coast cholla. And I should be getting back to the car in the next few minutes. See the ball fields are just up ahead. Yeah, very pleasant day out here. Warming up now. Not too bad yet. It's just about 9:15. So I put in about, well, just about 3.5 hours. I definitely put in a few miles today. Most of them are easy miles because the relatively flat terrain. Took some time to explore. Wasn't ready to go home yet. Call it a week of hiking. Yep. There's all that coast cholla up there. So cool. Yeah. That's where I entered right there to get started. Hopefully I'll still get a good thumbnail on the way back. I'm going to go around this way. I can see some larger lemonade berries on the way back too. Yeah, I remember this spot here. Yeah, I remember this spot. Laurel sumac cut like a tree. Yeah, I remember this beautiful laurel sumac right here. Yeah, look at that. Thing's cut like a tree. Beautiful. Love laurel sumac so much. It's one of the coolest plants we have growing here. One of the coolest shrubs we got growing. Just love these things. Look at all that resin. The resin kind of has a nice smell to it. The plant kind of has a nice pungent aroma on warm, sunny days. Wow, what a beauty. Gosh, what a breathtaking laurel sumac. Wow. Yeah, it's been a really fun morning out here. There's a benchmark or a reference marker. Walker Preserve, elevation 365 feet. So there must be that's a reference marker. So there must be a triangulation benchmark somewhere around here. Probably over there somewhere, because it's pointing this way. Let me get a picture of that. Just gotta go walk this way a little bit around all that to get to the parking lot where my car is. Wow. It's a pretty fun day, not gonna lie. Looks like the ball field's filled up. Yep, now we're in Lakeside. Yep, we're in Lakeside now. Just gotta walk along this. Yeah, it's cool. It was a little reference marker. Wow, the park is full now. Yeah, I'm parked all the way over that way, I think. Wow. There's a little league. Just gotta watch out I don't get hit by a baseball. Crazy. There's some decent sized lemonade berries near the beginning of this walk. There they are. Pretty decent sized lemonade berries here. We're looking back towards Coles Mountain. Yeah, I'm parked over here. This is just about the end of it for me. Well, let's go back to where I'm parked, and that's about the end of this for me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on my next hike.